And I went back, to have Sita, and she was 3 months old, and I left her, and I didn't see her until she was 4 years old.
And that's when you were working in Canada at that time. You worked in Canada while Zita
Yeah,
was in Switzerland with Renee's mother.
and then in 1939, I went over in May the 1st, I left. And then in September, the war broke out. So I was lucky I got it. Of course, I would have never left her, I would have gone back to Switzerland. But I said, no, I didn't have a child for nothing. I'm going to bring her up no matter what.
So
And you wouldn't believe it, when I went to call for her, I still can see that. I opened the door, and there she was. She said, bonjour, madame. Can you imagine? Almost killed me.
well, that didn't last for long. So you brought Zita back.
Well, her grandmother passed on. So then the neighbors had her for a few months, I guess. Then I called for her. But I mean, regardless what happened, I had always hoped to have another one, a boy. And so that's how it goes.
When did you move to the United States?
I left Switzerland in 1930. We stayed 2 years in Canada. And I crossed the border in 1932, which was very bad, because they sent all the Americans back, all the Canadians. And I was almost smuggled in, because we worked for that Henry North, and he was third vice president of the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. So see, he had some influence.
Definitely.
They used to send the cows up the mountains on vacation. I don't know what the reason was.
Maybe the grass was better.
But anyway, and my father loved his animals. So he went to visit his animals up in Schwarzenburg. And he was born there in the neighborhood around Schwarzenburg somewhere. So in those days, I think it's the same nowadays. They run only one train a day. So he had to make that 6 o'clock train. He was way up on a hill, and he knew he was late. So he went down that footpath, which he was not allowed to go down on a bike, but he wanted to make that train. But evidently it was his time to die. But anyway, then there were 4 walking, and one jumped into his bike, and he fell, and they took him to the hospital in Schwarzenburg, and at 11 o'clock he was dead.
So that left your mother with 5 girls?
5 girls and a big business. Of course, she kept it only until she could sell it. But she was very lucky. It was in 1918. Everything was high sky then. So she must have made good money. And because she was a widow from there on. And she lived from the interest, from the capital. I always remember that because once a month I had to walk into the city, which is almost a 1 hour walk. But we were used to walk, There was no such thing as transportation. So once a month I went to go and catch your interest, you know, to raise us.
So she managed to raise you 5 girls on her own.
Yeah, but she only lived 10 years.
And then you
So
were.
I was 19, and what was the I guess the youngest was 14. So that was tough.
So then you were
Oh,
left.
my destiny would have been different. My father lived.
But you were left to raise the other 4 sisters?
No,
No?
they were all scattered around. My sister's name is Marti, and then Claire, she passed on. And then there's Ida, and there was Marta, she passed on.
And what was your mother's name and your father's name?
My mother's name was Marie,
Oh.
and my father's name was Fritz.
After your mother passed on, then you went where? You were 19, so you went on your own?
Well, then I had to go get a job. Then I worked in this castle in Switzerland. I don't know, maybe a year or so. Before I got to Geneva and met Pops.
And then he.
Then in 1930 we moved to Canada.
Well, wait a minute. When did Pops propose?
Well, he proposed before we left, but we, like I said before, you can't get married overnight in Switzerland. It takes a couple of weeks. So we married when we got into Canada, and there was this, I don't know how we met them, but she was from Neuchâtel, Switzerland, and he was a minister from Canada. They married us. I still remember we had hot roast and mashed potatoes.
And peas. I remember. You told me that many times.
And cottage pudding.
Then you never went back to Switzerland till when? You went back to Switzerland to have me.
Yeah, around 35.
But why?
Huh?
Why didn't you just have me in Canada wherever you were?
No, I didn't see it.
Really?
I mean, I didn't care for Canada that much, but it was probably too because I was homesick. You know, I mean, I was newly married, and my French wasn't that good. Then I didn't know English, and I wasn't a cook neither. And he made me out to be a cook.
Yeah, but look how far you went. See, Pops knew you could do it.
Well, he always pushed me,
Yeah,
like
right.
up in Yonkers. You never been in Yonkers?
Yeah.
Or that it's just like the parliament in Switzerland. It's a big, beautiful estate. And we were out in the street, and I said to Pops, I'm not going to work in there. He said, oh, yes, you will. We went in, he had me hired. I had a coal stove, mind you.
He told him you were some fancy
Coal
chef.
stove. Oh,
Pops always knew he could do everything. Like, Nana's told me this story. In Hookhess, Delaware, Mr. Mellon said, you know how to freeze. I have a big garden here. You know how to freeze food. And freezing was really new at that time. Pops said, oh, yes, we know. And he got a book, and he and Nana learned. Yeah. And they did fantastic. It's like Pops always knew they could do anything. And it always turned out you could. Yeah. He didn't really lie, it's just that he knew they could do it. Just they had on the spot learning type thing. So you went back to Switzerland and had me, and then when I was 3 months old, you went back to your job.
yeah.
That must have been hard. But you got out of all that messy stuff of babyhood. And then when you got me, I was well raised,
You know,
whatever.
I still can see her. She was, when we opened the door, she said, bonjour, madame. That was good.
She didn't know you were her mom.
Bonjour.
Did she cry when you had to take her away from the people she was staying with?
Yeah.
I wondered about that. So you had a lot of good years with Pops.
Oh, we had an interesting life.
Except you would have had 5 children that you could have.
Didn't have 19 like it. You imagine 19 too.
Well, in those days that was all right, but not today.
Oh, right, my God.
They didn't have to have insurance back then.
19 too.
All you had to worry about was feeding them.
But they're all healthy, good-looking people. I mean, there were 7 boys and 7 girls living. I
Which
think
was your mother?
My mother, I think, was the first one to go.
Was she the oldest?
No, second oldest.
I remember you said your grandmother was having a baby, one of her last children, at the same time that her oldest child was having a baby. So she actually had a child and a grandchild almost on the same day.
Yeah. We worked on Park Avenue. That was 1932, I guess.
Where did you live in the Bronx or Queens or Manhattan?
No, we worked on Park Avenue.
Okay.
It's on 76th Street, you know. And the Grand Central Station was just several blocks down, you know.
Do you remember when you first came to America? You arrived by boat, right?
I left in 1930, we went to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed there 2 years. Then we came to New York.
But you had to go through immigration. Remember on Ellis Island?
At Ellis Island?
Yeah, boy, imagine, I was locked up there.
Why
I was locked up
Is that because you were Swiss cheese?
because you know, in those days, there were a lot of girls that were disappearing to South America. And Perón had been in Africa. They took it as a, what we call Mexican handler, you know, making a trade with girls. That was terrible.
So they thought he was
So they
bringing you.
locked me up, and I was so upset. I was so scared. Boy, I wet all my pants and my. That was terrible.
Did you speak much English at that point?
No English at all.
So what
And
happened?
I mean, my French at those days was, you know, just so. I really got to know real French after we passed. When you speak it every day, you know, then you get to learn it.
So what happened? How did you get out of it? Did someone come and help you?
Oh yeah, we had a job, and he was Mr. North, third vice president of the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. And he was looking for us, but we were locked up. So he finally got us out.
What happened to you when you were locked up? Did they put you through tests or anything?
Oh, I don't know what happened. That was horrible.
What about the day you got your citizenship? How was that?
Oh,
You
that
take
was
some-
beautiful. That was beautiful. I mean, I was scared stiff, you know, you don't know the language. And, but you just go through like a cattle drive, you know. That was terrible. And you go through so many windows, and they ask you, are you citizen, you speak this, and you've been there, you're going to do this, and you're going to do, and they don't pay too much attention. It's just, passe.
So how long did it take for you to become a citizen of the U.S.?
You have to be 4 years in the country.
And you knew English by then, right? You
I
could
think
speak
about-
English by that time.
I did what?
You spoke English after 4 years.
Oh, well, you know, it's not that easy to learn a language.
Oh, I know that.
I mean, yeah, but
What's been your
especially, you know, the jobs we had in those days, everybody wanted to learn to speak French. So we didn't have, it was really hard. But like I said, I had to speak it every day with pops. He didn't speak German.
What's been your favorite part of America to live in? Where have you liked living the best?
Well, naturally, as a young girl, I was dreaming about New York. I still like New York. Nobody likes New York.
It's changed a lot.
Oh, it's still nice. And,
Why do you like New York? Is it because of all the
well,
shows
you know,
that are there?
being over there in the country, you dream about, first of all USA. And then all you know about USA is New York. Well, I still think it's a nice city. You don't judge a place by the people, right? There are good, bad people everywhere. Look at Miami. Miami is a nice place, but it's all overloaded. It's a shame.
Didn't you at one time take some trip to the Bahamas with one of the people you worked for? Every year you would
That
go.
was with George Collier. Oh, that was terrible. There was, you know, there were about 8 houses. It was just one club. Nothing.
So you had to spend
I
all day on
mean,
the
it's
beach.
only a dumbbell like me who would have stayed there. Just the sky and the water.
Oh, that sounds
And
like
Pops-
heaven.
Pops used to say, "What are you crying for? You have a good health. You have a job. What more do you want?"
So what did you do in the Bahamas? Were you cooking there, or you just
Yeah,
went on
yeah.
vacation with them?
And the worst part, you know, that we were in the Clerget Island, and they're on the English domination. And you know, they don't do housework. So I had, I think she was from India. Done all the work. Used to sit on the beach all day long. I was sports day.
She doesn't like being pampered. Well, I heard that you got pretty dark skinned while you were on the beach.
Oh yeah. The one guy asked one day, Pops, because there were no colored people allowed on that island, Clerget Island is the name. So this, I don't know if he was a cop or what, he said, you know, there are no colored people allowed on this island. Pop said, "That's my wife." I was crazy in those days to get suntan. Today it's not even healthy. Well, we used to roast at that Marti beach, huh?
Yeah,
Where's Madison Beach?
Miami.
you were
You
there,
were
Michelle.
That's where you caught all the fiddler crabs.
Yeah.
Nana used to run along the beach and pick them up with her hands. And put them in a cup for me to watch when I was a little girl.
How'd you meet Aunt Amy? Or Amy?
Oh, Amy was working around there.
In Coral Gables?
Yeah.
And what kind of pet did she have?
What kind of one?
Did she have a monkey?
Yeah.
Cute, huh?
I don't remember. I don't think she was able to take her over there.
She didn't have one when we visited her.
No.
That's for sure. What were the pets that the Colliers have?
I think upon
What pets do the Colliers have?
Rebel.
a rebel, a dog.
Okay. Was it a big dog?
No, it was a cocker spaniel.
It's more like a beagle, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was like a beagle or a basset hound. What about
Oh,
that
yeah.
maid that worked there, Rebecca or something?
Rebecca, the colored one.
Big, yeah, big black maid.
That's Rebecca. What's a beautiful place there, that Coral Gables. swimming pool,
Why were you all in Delaware?
35 to
No,
45.
35 is when I was born. Probably 42 is when we were in Delaware for like 10 years. That
What were
was,
you working for there?
Mellon from Pittsburgh. He was the old aristocratic blue blood. He was a real gentleman, wasn't he?
it wasn't new money, it was old money. But they were very distinguished, nice people. Okay, Mark, I think we've got everything.
No close-ups.
What is this? Oh, I think I'll look at my mother's feet. I love big feet.
You wanna head out?